Hello. Good morning, guys. I'm making another video, and today we're watching Daehoon against McNeish. And what happened in this fight, as many of you guys know, Daehoon eventually loses this fight. I watched it and I was thoroughly surprised, not because of because of Daehoon losing, but because of the way he lost. And I just finished a video about my thoughts on the metagame, and that should be out. That should have been out earlier. And now we're going into a deeper dive into each one of the finals, or if you guys have semi-final fights that you guys are thinking are interesting, please comment those below, or which ones we should cover. But anyway, so we're going into this because I think that this one, watching McNeish, is definitely most definitely probably where a lot of people are going to start going. This is the first time I'd seen someone else whose front leg was as dominant as the Iranians. And even with that front leg dominance, so Daehoon's been pretty close to fighting Husseini. And this is the first time I'd seen Daehoon, I'd want to say, almost ill-equipped to deal with McNeish's front leg. So I'll be pointing out the things I notice are different. As always, kind of the fight breakdown deal. But what is surprising to me? Forward aggression, nothing crazy there. This is kind of where I first started noticing, actually, at this specific moment. This is where I noticed McNeish's legs are on a different level of strength. And I'm not sure if you guys caught this. It's going to be hard for me to rewind because it's not that close. But because I can't do it too specifically because the time bar is humongous. But if you guys notice Daehoon's arms, Daehoon had a hard time trying to hold on to McNeish's axe kick, and that lets me know that McNeish's legs are on a different level of strength. Here, I think we passed it already. I'll try one more time for you guys. If I can't get it, then I apologize. Okay, let's go here. On the axe kick, he was able to bring it up a second time, and Daehoon fell over trying to hold up the leg. Which, Daehoon, granted, let's say he's not been training. Let's say he hasn't been training that hard. But even still, the ability to try to force a whole nother human down like that with just a single leg strength is that's incredible strength coming out of GBR. So McNeish's legs are on a different level of strength right now, and I don't think Daehoon obviously was not prepared to deal with that today. I mean, in the future, they're gonna maybe go back to the drawing board, be like, look, we need more strength and conditioning in our program because we need to be on that level of strength as well. This is that was first big warning sign that something's a little bit off. Nothing too crazy here. McNeish taking what I like here is even though Daehoon's pressing right here, McNeish is not coming back, he's not coming forward with a single shot hesitantly. He's coming forward a lot of flick kicks. And he's coming forward with a lot of confidence that if you're in range at all of these kicks, there's a high chance they're going to score. And Daehoon's usual defense of waiting for you to finish kicking, I think that's how he's defeated here. Is McNeish is very good at flick kicking and going forward and being able to score on the second or third or fourth iteration of his kick, whereas Daehoon normally would be well, I'm just going to wait for your leg to tire out and then I'll kick you afterwards. McNeish is well, if you're just going to let me kick, then I'm just going to keep kicking. David's still poking and prodding here. I feel like if I was McNeish, I'd be kind of unsure if Daehoon's holding something back. Because he seems a little bit more timid than he does in other fights. But also, Daehoon's been fighting for forever, so that was really close. I think after that, that's where McNeish is alright, well, I'm just going to go straight for your head. But Daehoon seems like offensive point, nice. Daehoon, what I was going to say is Daehoon either seems like he hasn't been training as much or he's getting older because he's been fighting for a long time. McNeish offensively, after that first kick almost hit and Daehoon didn't ever reply, I think he gained a lot of confidence off of that, and so now he feels free to press forward as often as he wants. That was one where I was this guy's, like I said before, his strength is super high because Daehoon's moving backwards here. Well, we have to rewatch this. Sorry, guys. Daehoon's evading. That one's not bad. Almost gets it again. This is the one where I was very surprised because Daehoon's moving back here. So the extension forward plus the power of the kick has to get through the threshold, even with Daehoon moving backwards to subtract some of the force off of it. And that's when it kind of let me know that McNeish's legs are really, really strong, dude. This is one of the very first times I've seen that happen. Like one of the very few. And it's not just that it happens at one time. McNeish does this consistently. Which tells me, like, strength-wise, he's gotten so strong that he's able to get through the power threshold, whether he's on offense or on defense. That's why I think the meta is going to change because everyone's watching. If anyone's watching McNeish fight, that would be my biggest takeaway. We can get strong enough to where you can score offensively with all these kicks. Good response by Daehoon. Maybe he's also injured. Maybe Daehoon's injured. I don't know. Ooh, very close. Maybe Daehoon also looks like he's sick. Maybe that's it. Who knows? But what McNeish is doing is every kick he's doing has a second, third, fourth iteration. So it's not only after you get the first kick I can go in. You have to wait for a second or third, or like wait for his leg to be coming down, which is what Iran does in a later fight. Wait for his leg to like really be coming down before you try and go for a point. And it's not enough to, as we see this fight go on, it's not enough for you to just block or to cancel the leg because he's used to that. He's used to absorbing the impact and still continuing to fire. So props to GBR for training that because that is hard to do. It takes a lot of single leg stability. And in the first round he's ahead of Daehoon by 11. Can we fast forward here? Yeah. All of McNeish's kicks have second or third iterations. It's not a single leg kick and then one down. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. It's a lot of flicking. Even the rear leg kick, he got Daehoon because after the rear leg kick, he pulled it back into an axe kick. Daehoon now taking more of an offensive stance, trying to get around that. He said, well, if this guy's winning on offense, then let's take the offense to him and see how he's able to deal with it. As you can see, Daehoon's like a lot more aggressive now because they said, well, you can't wait for him to finish putting his leg down because he's going to kick forever, and that's like 2, 3, 4, 5 times where he can score on you. Oh, man. Daehoon's not looking good, too good here. He was doing pretty well on the offense, I'd say, earlier, and then he just kind of gave it away with the outing crescent kick. He wasn't watching. He was too focused on the offense, wasn't watching to keep his hands up. Yeah, McNeish figures out that if he keeps doing that, there's a higher chance Daehoon's going to score, so let's take the offense back to him. Or at least keep it even. And Daehoon's trying a lot more to poke and prod to be the first one to get his leg on top of McNeish's, so hopefully that'll help contain McNeish's offense. Oh, force out? No force out. There it is. Ah, the covers. Almost. That was pretty close. I'll say Daehoon's offense here is McNeish looks like he's definitely having a hard time handling it. Unfortunately, Daehoon's not able to get the points in. So props to his defense. It's unfortunate though that Daehoon isn't able to score on these kicks, but McNeish is kind of just scoring as he's on defense. Like even as he's like weathering Daehoon's storm and able to keep himself covered and score points on the inside as well. Man, anytime his leg like touches the Hogu, he goes up. A lot of stuff like that where, oh, okay, well, he did score some points there. Not bad. A little bit of grab. But yeah. McNeish so far has been really good at scoring on Daehoon in between his kicks and weathering Daehoon's offensive storm here. And I'm not, maybe it's just accuracy, maybe it's McNeish's defense, but it appears to me like Daehoon's getting his foot there, he's just not scoring. So I don't know what's up with that. Maybe it's McNeish's defense is really good. But props to McNeish for even defensively. Usually the offensive players will score a lot more just because they're kicking more often and getting kicks through. McNeish is still active in his defense, still able to find the holes, and is creating a bigger and bigger lead. That was a really good combo. Out in right here. Notice Daehoon isn't ready. Went for the cut. Back kick here too is good. Daehoon usually never gets scored on this often, so this is very eye-opening to me, and I'm sure to Team Korea. Last rounds, what information? Like, I like doing this. Like, last round, what information do we know? We know offensively, we can't really like McNeish do what he wants because those legs are really deadly and he can score forward. Defensively, he's doing all right. We just need Daehoon. Daehoon just needs to fix his covers, and I think he's probably gonna have to do more inside, almost like flick shots to like bait McNeish's hands in one direction and then capitalize in another. That seems to be where McNeish's game is lacking just a little bit. But not by much, because as you can tell, he's scoring a lot on Daehoon. So, as Team Korea, I would maintain the offensive pressure, focus on covering, maybe add motions like in between the offense, and then try and capitalize on that. If I were McNeish or GBR, I'd be like he took this round to you. You need to take this round back to him, like you're doing the first round, and try and score points that way. But anyway, let's see how it plays out. Well, McNeish taking the offense, so that's good. Oh, sweet. I was right. Looks like McNeish is trying to be more offensive. Daehoon trying to find the holes. And, oh, nice back kick out of that. Keep him there, keep him there, keep him there. Don't let him move. I mean, I know McNeish wins, but I'm still rooting for Daehoon's one of my favorite guys. He's super nice in person. Every time I've seen him, or fans have come up, I've seen him with fans. He's always down to take a picture with fans. He's always nice and always respectful. That's why I like Daehoon a lot, and because he's really good. A little bit of grabbing, but it's okay. That's acceptable. Yeah. They realized also that he has 7 Gumjung already, which means that if he falls out 3 more times, he's going to be disqualified. I would not be surprised if that's subtly what Daehoon's trying to go for. If you show it too obvious, then the other player just straight up runs forward, or like kind of clinches and always clinches. So it's hard to do that. You need to like set it up to where they're kind of not thinking about it when you force them out. Like, oh crap, I'm on the edge of the ring again. Like right now. Why did he break it? Oh, kicking below. Okay, so two more Gumjung to go. Nice. McNeish is a little bit tired now. He just needs to defend his lead though. 12 points is kind of a big... 12 points is a long way to go, man. Oh! No point. Ah, these covers are really good. What happened here? Okay. Oh, card. I don't know if. Is it for the headshot? As a coach here, seeing McNeish's responses to Daehoon's attack, I may not have called that just because it seems like this is McNeish was getting tired, and that's what Daehoon wants for points, and now he's breathing and recovering. Like this is Daehoon still looks pretty fresh. I mean, getting probably getting some advice from teammates, coaches, but if I were Korea in my amateur spot that I am, I would not have called that just because I'd want McNeish tired, and the more tired he gets, the more holes in the game there are, and I would have just pressed that forward. But I mean, it is what it is. If you believe the 3 points would have really helped Daehoon there, then cool. I'm scared to skip this forward because I don't want you guys to miss anything. Okay. Dude, all these cool. It looks like a DJ track right there. Okay, I'm gonna attempt one more time here. Let's see. Verdict says no. So Korea loses their video card. Daehoon has 51 seconds to make up 10 points with recovered McNeish. McNeish back on the offense. Good. Realizes that, well, we can't keep playing defense against this guy. Daehoon's starting to find the openings. McNeish taking the fight back to him. Good for you. Ah, nice try. Oh, my microphone fell. I had to get a new mic stand. Maybe my mic is too heavy. Okay. Down by 8. 2 gumjangs. This is kind of why I'm saying Daehoon needs to do the flick kicks on the inside, because you can see his cover is really good. So he needs to go one body, leave his knee in the air, and then go to the face. Body, covered. I'll say like situations like that, body covered. It'd be good to body face. In those situations, I think that's where McNeish is probably going to be open. McNeish willing to go tit for tat. Oh, that was another close one. Oh. Doing what he can. 5 seconds. Spin's kind of expected at 5 seconds. Well, that's it. Able to weather the Daehoon storm. So overall, good fight. Main takeaways, new meta stuff. The strength of some countries now is getting to a point where they can score offensively on KP&P. That's a big one. Second point, McNeish does a really good job doing 1 iteration, 2, 3, 4 of his kicks, especially in the first round. Caught Daehoon off guard a lot. Daehoon didn't really I mean, second and third round he turned on the gas, but first round he didn't really use feeling GBR out, I think a little bit too much. If he had stuck to his second or third round game plan, put that in the first round game plan, I think this may have been a different story. I'm not sure if McNeish would have lasted the whole time. Overall, good fight by both players, I think. And main takeaways, I mean, strategy wise, McNeish has a monster front leg, and so usually when someone has a really good weapon, what ends up happening is, like, if he has a really good weapon, someone else has to come up with a weapon equally as strong. Or in Daehoon's case, Daehoon went on the offense where McNeish can't use the weapon at all, and then that's where he's trying to make up the 12-point gap, or however much he was down in the first round. And once that happens, like, let's say Daehoon handle it that way. What I'm trying to say though is, usually if someone has a strong weapon and they're using that to win, you don't need too much other strategy, like how to trap this guy, because I mean, your weapons are just superior, so you can just use those weapons over the guy as often as you want. Usually it's more when like Handipor versus Jang Jun, where their weapons are about similar, where it's like you need to see a lot more strategy How am I going to trick this guy? Because if you guys clash, it's a 50-50 proposition. Whereas McNeish, where it's like, if I get to use my offense, that's an 80-20 proposition for me winning this match. And he ended up winning. So, like I said, main takeaways. McNeish's front leg is monster. His physicality-wise, really, really good. And but it's on offense. Daehoon did a great job saying, well, if you're on offense and that's how you know how to use your weapons, let's see how you do on defense. And second round kind of got poked and prodded a little bit. You know, he didn't really keep his covers up as much. McNeish did a great job covering and finding points still. Third round, McNeish is getting a little bit tired, and that's when the covers started to fall away, and Daehoon started to get his points. Overall, great fight by both fighters. I'm going to be covering more of the fights as the weeks progress. And, yeah, looking forward to see what else the top players in the world bring us. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Please like, subscribe, or comment below your thoughts on this fight, and I'll see you guys next time.